Thank you all for coming today. I so much appreciate it. I really am excited to share with you some of our latest changes and ways that you can help us in this movement. So I'm going to share my screen and get started with my presentation. And as I said, this one is going to be pretty quick. So the Coalition to Modify NOTA, this is our fourth meeting. During today's agenda, we're going to be talking about what's new, Coalition to Modify NOTA in the news, contacting our congressional leaders, and of course, spreading the word to grow our movement. This is an evolving movement. The Coalition to Modify NOTA is being tactical, deliberate, and precise. We are developing a proposal that will be passed. Our direction may change as we learn more. We are open to your feedback. We are here to persuade our leaders that genuine progress is needed. And as I said earlier, we will pass legislation in 2024. We've been working to hone our analysis. If you are a transplant professional and have transplant healthcare cost-related information that could be useful to us, please feel free to reach out to us. So what's new? We have made 3 changes. The first one, because of something called the cut-go rule, and the need, please mute yourself if you can. Thank you. Because of the cut-go rule and the need to demonstrate savings of at least $10 billion in the first 10 years, we have reduced the size of the tax credit from $100,000 to $50,000. Now, let me quickly tell you, the cut-go rule was implemented in the House in May, and it means that bills need to be paid for before they are passed. So in other words, they cannot cost anything. The second one is we've been advised by a Washington expert that unless a bill makes at least $10 billion in the first 10 years, it will most likely not be passed. So we needed to shift the bill from $100,000 to $50,000 tax credit. Second change, the tax credit will be provided to non-directed donors only initially as a trial to demonstrate that removing disincentives from donation through a tax credit will work to save more lives and taxpayer money. Now, I've been trying to pass laws since last March, and I've heard time and time again that the government loves trials. They don't like big changes. They want to see if it's going to work first. Now, many people said to me, why don't you do this on the state level? Perhaps pass something similar in an individual state and then show the federal government that this works well. The problem is that states don't save much money from kidney transplantation. The reason being that dialysis is such a heavy lift. It's such a big cost for the federal government that is saved every time there's a transplant. The states do not enjoy that savings. It's mostly the federal government that saves that money. So, let me just go back one moment. So we're going to do our trial with non-directed donors. There are currently around 300 every year. The Coalition to Modify NOTA was founded by 4 non-directed donors, and we feel strongly that there's great potential for growth among non-directed donors. We're hoping that thousands will donate. And so that's where we're shifting it. And as I said, once we've shown the government that this is something that is both tax saving and life saving, then we will push forward a bill to cover all donors, not just the non-directed donors. One step at a time. I'm sort of repeating myself. Once our first bill passes, our second step will be to provide the tax credit for all donors. We're also going to change the name of our bill. It was called the HEROES Act, the Helping End the Renal Organ Shortage Act. However, that name has been taken. So we are looking for a new name, and we are hoping to find someone who's been impacted by the kidney shortage and name the bill after that person. And this will help people understand the personal toll of the kidney crisis. We need your help with this name change. As I said, we would like to name this bill after someone who has passed away because they could not get a kidney. Their family member must have been physically unable to donate and be capable and willing to be the bill's spokespeople. Well, family members, it should say. If you know anyone who fits this description, please contact us. We're looking for a family that could potentially be our spokespeople. So now I'm moving on to something else. the Coalition to Modify NOTA in the news. Since we met last month, we have made it into the some media stuff that I'm really proud of. The first one is that there was an article in the Wall Street Journal called "Why You Should Be Able to Sell Your Kidney," and this is a letter in response from our team. I'm going to be sending you all of these links so you can read them on your own. Another time we were mentioned was in a super blog post by Scott Alexander called "My Left Kidney." He was actually mentored by Ned Brooks, one of the founding members of our team. And this is a beautiful sort of ode to the Coalition to Modify NOTA and an encouragement for people to get involved and help us out. The next article was in the Dallas Morning News. Michael L. Davis wrote it. He's now become a supporter. And again, he's mentioning the Coalition to Modify NOTA and our policy proposal. In addition, in the last week, there have been 2 podcasts that have come out featuring our work. The first one was on the Great Battlefield podcast, a podcast that is widely listened to by Washington insiders. And just to let you know, this one, the first half of this podcast is about electoral politics. So if you're interested in that, please listen. But otherwise, skip to the middle, and then you'll hear the portion where Aaron and I discuss kidney donation. I was actually Aaron's mentor through the National Kidney Donation Organization. And so he's my mentee, and he donated on Valentine's Day of this year. And the most recent one just came out today, Lori Lee's excellent podcast, Donor Diaries. She interviewed the founding team, Matt, Cody, Ned, and me, and I think it really turned out beautifully. So as I said, you'll be getting the links to these. Turning to something else, we need more supporters. So we would really appreciate it if you would share information about the Coalition to Modify NOTA with your friends, family, and social networks, including social media. Please ask them to sign our mission statement. We will greatly benefit from being able to say we have thousands of supporters. Help us get there. So we love quality, but we also need quantity of supporters. Now, I would like for us to all take some time and take this opportunity to write to our representatives. So what we're going to do is, hopefully, if you're willing to do this, I'm going to stop the share for a moment. And so what I would like for us all to do is to write a letter right now to our legislative leaders. Now, the first thing we're going to need to do is go to the chat and see in the chat that I'm posting this link. I'm going to actually pause the recording for a moment. So I'm really glad that everyone had an opportunity to use the link to write to their representatives and to record it on our sheet. And I greatly appreciate your contacting your leaders in DC. So from here, I just want to remind you that filling out that final document is really important. And in addition, I would like to remind you that we're still moving forward. 2024 is our year to be galvanized and get this past the finish line to the White House signing ceremony. Our next meeting, and I'll of course send you a calendar invitation, is Tuesday, January 9th from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. So thank you all for attending the meeting.